I have a condition known as mirror touch synesthesia. It's a neurological condition thought to be caused by a person being over-empathetic. This means I feel what other people experience. Let's say that I watch someone being hugged, I sense a pressure engulfing my body in the same way, or if I see someone wearing glasses, I will feel them on my ears. That's not all though, I feel other people's emotions too. All I need to see is someone's expression and I get a hint of their emotions. I looked at it like I had a superpower. In high school, I became the person who everyone came to when they had something wrong because I could always relate to them. With this, I grew accustomed to feeling all kinds of emotions from people I talked with, and most of the time I would say that I helped them. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a therapist, but I was someone who knew what these people were feeling. Everything was going well until Kyle asked if he could talk to me after class. Kyle was a quiet kid who tried his best to be invisible in school. He would sit at the back of the class answering as few questions as he could. Kyle's shyness along with his short plump body was the perfect combination to set himself as the #1 target of the bullies in our school. It was not unusual for Kyle to show up to class with a hood on to cover up the bruises. In school, there were rumors that his father was a cop who got fired for getting drunk and crashing his police car into a fire hydrant one night while out on patrol. After that, his dad started doing construction jobs to keep the lights on and, more importantly, beer in the fridge. I assumed Kyle wanted to talk about some amalgamation of these things when he came up to me as I walked out of the school. Kyle approached me with his head down and stuttered out, "Hey, could I talk to you about something?" I replied, "Sure, what do you want to talk about?" Kyle looked around like he feared someone would overhear. So, I told him we could go to my house and talk there. He nodded and followed me there since I didn't live but a mile away. Kyle did not talk on the walk over, but as we walked, I had this overwhelming sense of sadness and despair wash over me. We got to my house and sat down on the living room couch. As Kyle put his book bag on the floor, I asked him what he wanted to talk about. As soon as Kyle's mouth opened, the feeling of sadness I had been feeling tripled. It was as if he was trying to keep all those feelings buried or they would just flood out of him. Kyle's voice melted away as my soul became engulfed in a pit of pure despair. If this was what Kyle was feeling, I needed to help him. I snapped back into the moment with tears in my eyes. Kyle had a new level of respect in my eyes. He looked at me as if he understood that I knew everything he was going through and whispered, "I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to feel understood as I did it." My mind froze as Kyle reached for his bag and pulled out a 9mm and placed it against his head. I tried to close my eyes before he pulled the trigger, but I was too late. I heard the bang and felt his blood splatter onto my face as my head exploded in agony as Kyle's body laid on my couch. Frozen in a mixture of shock and pain, I sat there looking at him in tears. I don't know how much time passed before my mother got home to find me there staring at the bloody mess that used to be Kyle. The next thing I remember is the paramedics asking me if I was hurt. That day irreversibly changed me. My parents see it just like my friends do. I tell them I'm fine and I tell my therapist that I just can't get Kyle's face out of my head. Both of which are lies. The real reason I can't sleep or eat is that as soon as I sat there on that couch in excruciating pain, I felt a hot burning sensation start at my feet and consume my entire body. It was like I was being engulfed in flames. It faded after a time, but I still can't help but think about it. I've never been a religious person, but now I don't miss church. My only explanation for what I felt is that when Kyle pulled that trigger, he killed a piece of me too, and from what I felt I don't like where it went.